Hi everyone, my name's AJ and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. This is a new channel and I am new at doing this, so if I seem a little bit nervous, it is because I am. I kind of compare this to the old days when we try to come up with a message for our answering machines. So bear with me. I'm sure in time things will become a little smoother. This channel I'm calling AJ's Opinions, Reviews, Rants, and Raves. The reason for this name is simply an act of self-therapy, I guess, and I'm hoping that I can also help a few people out there who feel the same way. Videos are going to be on things that occur, little life's ironies, things that actually aren't funny but really are funny. I work with the public, so that which they feel is a serious situation, sometimes you just want to bite your lip and keep from laughing. And you can certainly relate many times. So, anyway, today is the day before Thanksgiving, 2025. And I guess a good place to start is shopping and customer service. How many of you remember the old days when there actually was a thing called customer service? That doesn't occur anymore. I don't think the new generation even has an idea as to what that means. I remember growing up, going to the store with my mom, and we actually had to fight off the grocery clerks and the baggers because they were trying to take our groceries out to the car for us. Anymore, you can be 99 years old, crippled up with a walker, and you cannot find someone to help you with your groceries. I don't know what the big deal is. You're getting paid, whether you're standing there playing with your phone or actually doing your job. You just help. You know, help people. That's what you're there for. Bag the groceries up, take them to the car, put them in the car for people. A friendly hello. None of that happens anymore. You go to one of these big chain stores especially, and it seems like the more people they have working there, the worse the customer service actually is. The small stores are still hungry. They're hungry for customers, so they treat you well. However, the small stores are a thing of the past because everything, the big, corporations are just eating up the tiny little business owners. So I really think customer service is going to be a way of the past. You go and like today, I had a cart full of things just like everyone else. People going crazy, running up and down the aisles looking for pumpkin pies and stuffing and gravy and different things for their Thanksgiving dinner, and running over everybody, children running and screaming down the aisles, parents not controlling the kids or keeping them in line, and made the whole situation kind of like just a day at the circus. I guess the thing that's most irritating to me is you spend that kind of money. They don't thank you for it. You're there. You're the reason the store is there, but you don't get any kind of thanks. And today I had an issue with one of the grocery stockers. Some kid, tall, skinny kid, probably about 16, 17. He was pushing a cart up the aisle, and it acted like it truly made him angry to have to do his job. He was obviously throwing a tantrum, and the line in front of me was packed. You couldn't get through the aisle, so I turned my cart around and started heading the other way, and apparently something had fallen out of the cart, and kid makes smart remark to me about running over the item. Just run over it. And I guess that really irked me wrong because I let him have it. I just I'm so sick of this. You know, it's like I purposely run over the item. No, it's because it fell out of my cart because it was so crazy. But I did complain about him. I usually don't go to customer service complaining, but it just pissed me off. He was very rude. I was there supporting his job. I am one of the reasons he works there, and that there's a need for him, but didn't get the appreciation for it. I remember the old days when you'd go to the gas station, you'd pull up to the pumps, and the guy would come running out, in a reasonable amount of time. You didn't wait for 30 minutes waiting for one guy to come up and start pumping your gas. They would be right there. They'd start the gas. They'd offer to check your oil. They'd wash your windshield, and then hand you whatever little toy it was that they were giving away for the station. Not anymore. You pull into one of the stations, and it's everything you can do to find a full service. There's those people that like the self-serve. And actually, it wouldn't be so bad if you actually saved. But if you're paying the same price, I want the service. I don't want to get gasoline all over my hands. I don't want to have to get outside when it's too hot. I don't want to have to get outside when it's too cold or pouring rain. That's why I go to full service. And it would just be nice if they would actually pump the gas and at least, when you're filling up your vehicle, offer to wash the window. You got dirt on the window. You're standing there picking your nose. Wash the window. What's the big deal? It's customer service. And it just unbelievable. And the chain stores, everything, you have to check yourself out. You go through, you spend a ton of money. You have to go through the self-checkout. They don't give you bags anymore. You have to bring your own bags. You have to bag your own groceries. No cheap groceries. They're all the same price. And then you glance over and you notice 4 or 5 of the employees standing there texting, but they can't come over and help you bag your groceries. You have a line of people behind you. And, that line wouldn't be there if somebody could help you bag your groceries. Nope. I don't know. It's sad. It's very sad. Nobody knows anymore what it was like. It's just a fading memory. And, today's generation, they laugh. And I had one employer tell me one time, I had employees that I was supervising, couldn't get them to do anything. I always prefer to hire an older employee because they still have some of the values. They will work. And I had one of my bosses one time told me, no, we need to hire the younger kids. They'll bring more people in. Well, so I hired one of the young kids. And come a couple of months down the line, my inventory was $30,000 short. And it was because the young kid that I hired was letting her friends come in at night, and they were taking the beer and cigarettes and anything else they wanted. Things weren't getting done. Cleaning wasn't done. Just anything wasn't getting done, but my inventory was 30,000 short. So you tell me. People just aren't honest anymore. Just be honest and truthful and do your job. They complain. Everyone complains about the amount of money they make. Well, do the job for the money and maybe you'll get more money. And I'm sorry, no matter whether you're being paid a minimum wage or you're making top dollar, you're working for the money. Earn the money. there shouldn't be a difference. There shouldn't be a difference. You see these people in these care homes that they pay these workers minimum wage. I know when my own father was in one of the facilities, I would have to go in. I would have to clean, his room. I would have to do things for him. I'd go outside and there was the workers smoking their cigarettes and talking and not helping the people. These elderly folks, the cost of these assisted livings, is horrible. It's in the $5,000, $6,000 a month, and there is no service. These people, and they're constantly having their things stolen. My dad, I had to watch his things. His watch was stolen. Money from his wallet was stolen. His room hadn't been cleaned. And there were a couple of the employees that would come in and give my dad a sob story, because I did give him a little change to keep in his wallet, because sometimes he'd go on outings and I wanted him to be able to buy things, but I also knew it was a dangerous thing to do because of the employees that they were hiring. These people weren't screened. Some of them they were hiring right out of jail, or in lieu of going to jail, they were hiring these people. And, they would be tattooed from head to toe. And, nothing's wrong with tattoos, but we're talking about the older generation. Tattoos scare people. Some of them, these people, they'd see these workers that had, the rings in the nose and the tattoos all over their faces. And, it scared them. It's sad. It's sad the way everything is going. And it's sad that they can't get taken care of the way that they're supposed to be taken care of. And it's sad. Customer service, everything. The world is becoming a horrible place. They talk about the younger generation wanting to make improvements, recycling, and making a better world and stuff. I haven't really seen it myself. I'm sorry. It starts with compassion. It starts with caring about everyone else around you. It starts with being involved and not just keeping your face buried in your phone. Talk to some of these old people, that are out there. I know one of my very, very first jobs. I lived back in Kansas at the time. I was 16. My very first official job was working in a nursing home. And I'm glad I did, because anyone could work at one of the fast food places or something and see all your friends. But I actually worked with the people and got down and did the heavy duty stuff. And I know there was this one little old lady. At the time, I was 16, she was 105. And I remember her talking. And, I'd go in the room and, these people were lonely. None of their family would ever come and see them. So, I tried to, talk with them and make them feel that somebody cared. And I remember talking, her name was Lottie. Lottie Saylor was her name. And she was talking about how her family had went over the plains in a horse and wagon, and how they actually had fought off Indians. And it's amazing if you just take a moment and talk, find out some of these people really have interesting pasts. These people who were in the military and went through World War II and Korea, and talk to them. There's so much to learn, so many ways that used to be that could be, again, if people just cared. When you're going through a line, pay it forward. You know, if you see somebody coming up behind you that really looks like they're having a tough time, you know, pay $5 on their grocery bill, pay the whole grocery bill. If you're going through Starbucks or something and someone's getting coffee, offer to pay for the person behind you. I know there was a time that I went through and somebody had paid for my coffee, and it shocked me. Made my whole day. You know, I felt good for the whole day. Put me in a good mood to start my work. You'd be surprised how just little tiny things make a world of difference. You never know what a person is going through. You don't know, you know, what's going on in that person's life. You know, there's no excuse for someone just to be rude and stuff, but again, you know, just remember things could be going on. So I don't know, I guess that's about all I have to say for this video. It kind of seemed appropriate, day before Thanksgiving, just talking about what we're thankful and not thankful for. It, you know, just I don't know, care. That's all. Just care. Anyway, I wish you all well, and I hope you all have a good Thanksgiving holiday and, you know, time with family. Me, I'm kind of out of family. I don't really have a lot of family anymore. I do miss that. Because there's special times when you know, just wanted to run and hide, and it was terrible, but it's also good. And when they're gone, you think about it. I work with somebody who lost her mom for the holiday. I associated with this situation very well, because I know when I lost my mom, everything started coming down. It was a situation from about the beginning of November, and by mid-January she'd passed away. And it you know, makes you think about, you know, the little things, and, you know, how much you miss them when they're gone. You know, appreciate why you have them, because they aren't always going to be there. You know, sometimes they drive you crazy, but there's just a really, really big hole that you have to fill. With my dad, you know, for 10 years, every Sunday, I went to his home and stayed with him and cared for him and stuff. But when he passed away, I, you know, couldn't imagine what I was going to do with my Sundays. It was a big hole. When my mom passed away, it was a big hole in my entire family. Just appreciate everyone. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I wish you all well. If you can kind of relate to my video and enjoyed talking, hit the subscribe and like to help my channel grow. Promise content's going to get a little better as we go. Again, I'm a little nervous, but it is kind of a self-therapy kind of a thing. So maybe it will be for you too. Take care. Bye-bye.